Well, good afternoon. My name is Brenda Estrada, and I am the Veteran Certification Official at State Fullerton. Today, we're going to be talking to you a little bit about the Cal State University system, in specific about State Fullerton. We're going to be going over some of their highlights on how to transfer, what are some of the key things that State Fullerton has to offer, and then we'll be focusing a little bit on veterans and in regards to admissions and other services that our campus has to provide. But one of the first things I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you to one of our student veterans who came in the fall of last year as a transfer student, and then she can tell you a little bit about her experience and what she is doing here at Cal State Fullerton. So her name is Heidi Aguilar.
Good evening. My name is Heidi Aguilar. As she said, I am a veteran. I was served in the Marine Corps for 4 years. A little bit about the process of applying as a veteran. It actually wasn't that difficult. This campus is actually very veteran friendly. I had gotten out of the military in June, and when I applied, it was already past the date to be able to be accepted into the university. Through this department, which is called University Outreach and Veteran Certification, they allowed me a time period to be able to apply, so to speak, called an admissions extension. Now, that didn't necessarily mean that I was accepted, but what it allowed me to do as a veteran is to be able to apply, being that due to being active duty due to my circumstances, I could be able to apply and be accepted into the university. Now, part of that is when I did apply, I was fortunate enough to come across the transfer center, so they were able to be able to help me to tell me what classes were needed, and then also Ms. Brenda was able to break it down what were the requirements as a transfer student. Now from that, when I did apply, I actually did get denied. The reason I got denied was because there's something called a Golden 4, which Ms. Brenda Estrada will go into detail about, and one of those courses, those requirements, I actually didn't have. So I finished taking the course, and then I did what's called an admissions appeal, which Ms. Brenda Estrada will also go into detail within this presentation. And what that admission appeal did was that it explained the circumstances, that being that I was a veteran and that I was still currently taking a class aboard Camp Pendleton, they were able to allow me into the university, and then I did get accepted. So I was very thankful. One of the tools that I do recommend to students that are thinking to apply to Cal State Fullerton that are either veterans or transfers. For transfer students, there's within this building, it's in Langsdorff Hall, we have a transfer center. They're able to be able to answer your questions, explain the requirements that are needed to become a transfer student into our university. And then for veterans, we have here what's the Veteran Certification Department. Now that department will break down the process of actually applying and what benefits you have as a veteran applicant to be coming into this university. From the experience, I did get accepted, and now I do work here myself at the Veteran Certification Department. From that, I can be able to say as a piece of advice to veterans is to contact the university, and even if the deadline is passed, to still contact the Veteran Certification Department. Our university has this department just to be able to help veterans, just to be able to reach out and explain what necessarily wasn't explained in the transition piece from military to civilian. So that's most of it that from my experience, that I can be able to gather. Another piece that I do recommend also is to find out if the campus has a veteran student services. I know our campus does, and I utilize them to be able to get a mentor. They even helped me with like the tours and stuff like that, because part of one of the requirements is that you have to do basically an orientation. Because us veterans were kind of tight on money, we tried to do the most inexpensive route. There's an online orientation that they could take, but then the Veteran Student Services tags along and then allows a tour that the student can be able to take. So that's it. If you have any questions, just add them and then we can be able to answer them. Thank you.
All right. So, again, my name is Brenda Estrada, and I am the certifying official for the campus. So let's go ahead and move along with this presentation. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about who we are as a campus. We're actually part of a 23 campus-wide system. So we have 23 CSUs in our system. You can see that our farthest up north is actually Humboldt, and our farthest south is San Diego. So we are throughout the state of California the largest educational system. Between the 23 campuses and 7 offsite campuses, we service approximately 409,000 students. And we have about 44,000 faculty and staff. And I am very honored to be one of the staff members here on the Cal State Fullerton campus. So let's, 1 second, I'm having technical difficulties. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of our statistics. And because we usually fall about a year or two behind in terms of like our admission statistics, I'm going to talk to you about our 2011 statistics and what we have in regards to applications for transfer students. So we are one of the largest institutions to take transfer students, and in Orange County we are the first choice for students who are transferring. We receive approximately 16,771 applications, and of those we have about 7,447 applications that are admitted. So we admit about 44% of students. The average GPA for that is about a 3.11, and students apply to the top 5 majors, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's where they stay. Students do tend to change their major even if they are transfer students. They tend to change their majors. So the top 5 majors are business, administration, psychology, communications, art, child and adolescent studies. Those are the top 5. So if you're looking at like, okay, well, what are you good at? We're good at everything. We have over 102 different majors. That is grad and undergrad. And then we have a couple doctoral programs. We have a doctoral program in nursing, and we have a doctoral program in education. And those are both standalone programs. So they are not programs that are in conjunction with the UC, that are in conjunction with a private university. No, we actually have research that goes on our campus, and we have the opportunity for our students to engage in that research. Okay, so now let's talk about our academics. Yeah, we have approximately 8 different colleges. We have the College of the Arts, College of Engineering and Computer Science, College of Health and Human Development, the College of Business and Economics. Each one of them is known for different things, but I have some highlights here. So for our College of the Arts, it's among the 16 highly recommended in the nation. So if you look at us, you can say that we are like the Juilliard of the West Side. Okay, so it is important to note that with the College of the Arts, they will ask you for specific and special requirements. If there's anything that you may need, the College of the Arts will let you know. Okay, so other than that, let's move on to the College of Engineering and Computer Science. The College of Engineering and Computer Science gives you the opportunity to work on real-world research. It provides you the opportunity to work in a small classroom environment with highly qualified professors. That gives you that one-on-one interaction that you need. But you'll find that really in any college that you're in. The College of Human Development, Health and Human Development, offers majors such as child adolescent studies, health science, human services, kinesiology, and also a minor in military science. So if you're interested in doing something else with the military, then a minor in military science may be something that you could do through the College of Health and Human Development. Now, the College of Business and Economics, that is one of our largest business accredited schools in the United States. We are number 4. Okay, number 4 in the nation as an accredited school. Now, if we look at the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, we also have it's home to the largest college at Cal State Fullerton. We have over 25 different majors, and we host study abroad programs. So our programs range London, Italy, Spain. Students can actually go out there and they get charged Cal State Fullerton fees, and they have the opportunity to go and live in a different country. For some students who are veterans, they've already experienced being out into different areas or different countries in the world. This is a little bit different. It gives you the student experience. It provides you the opportunity to talk to other students and learn different things so that you can blend the skills that you're bringing from the military into higher education, and then take those two sets and blend them when you get out into the real world. We also have the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, College of Communication, College of Natural Science and Mathematics, in our College of Education. 70% of the teachers in Orange County, which is a pretty large county, have graduated from Cal State Fullerton. So that's, big for our campus. Now, why Cal State Fullerton? Cal State Fullerton has been the #1 campus for transfer students. So students that are transfer students choose Cal State Fullerton as the first destination for over the last 10 years. Why? Because not only do we have a comprehensive way in which we're able to help students before they come in, we have a transfer center on our campus that will assist you with your admissions or pre-admissions needs. So we'll sit down, we'll review your transcript, we'll tell you what you're still missing. If you are a veteran, we do have our veteran certification office that can actually sit down also with you, work with you, and tell you, hey, these are the things that you're still missing. If you're a veteran and you're not out in time to be able to apply, contact our office and we'll be able to help you. But we also have over 105 degree programs. 54 of those degrees are undergraduate programs, and our average class size is about 30 students. So the one-on-one experience that you're going to get with your students is very high. Okay? Alright, let's move on to the next slide. Admissions. This is the important piece. So for the fall of 2013, what are some of our admission requirements? Students at Cal State Fullerton, we only accept what are called upper division transfer students because we are an impacted campus. So what that basically means is we have more applicants that are qualified than we actually have room for. Okay, it's a little bit different for veterans. We set different guidelines when we're an impacted campus. So when we're an impacted campus, we're saying you're applying between October 1st and November 30th. No matter what, that's what you need to do. For veterans, however, after November 30th, if you missed the deadline because you were deployed or because you were serving and you were not able to make that October 1st through November 30th for lack of access to technology where you were stationed or what have you, you can contact our office, our Veteran Certification Office, and we will be more than happy to accept your application. Now note that the sooner you turn it in, the better. And the fact that we're accepting your application doesn't mean you're accepted into the university. It simply means that we are accepting your application for review by our admissions team. Okay? So now what are some of the requirements that you need to have? The only exception that we make is that you can apply after the deadline. The requirements remain the same. If you're a transfer student, you need to do 60 transferable units, at least 30 units of general education with C's or better, and you need to have a minimum GPA if you're in Orange County transfer, which means you did and we'll go over local area later, but if you did your course, the majority of your 60 units in one of the local area colleges, then you need to have a 2.0. If you're outside of our local area colleges, then you need to have a higher GPA such as a 3.4. In addition to having all of these units, you also need to have what's called the Golden 4. You need to complete your oral communication, your written communication, your critical thinking, and your math. So you're looking at like basic English, so English like 100, college level English. You're looking at a critical thinking class, maybe like a philosophy class. You're also looking at a speech class and definitely a college level math class. You need to be in good academic standing at the last college of attendance. If you are not in good academic standing, that may put a hinder on whether or not you're admitted. Alright. As I mentioned before, Cal State Fullerton is an impacted campus. It's expected that all applicants will need to surpass the minimum Cal State eligibility requirements, and students who complete the majority of their colleges in an Orange County Community College will be considered in area. Out of area, again, are those students that will complete the majority of their units that are transferable at an out of area. And here is our map. This is our in area. So if you look at this, you can see like it's Riverside, it's outside of our area. LA County is outside of our area. So really it's only the Orange County area that we're looking at. And then here you will see also that we have other Cal States that surround us. So Cal State LA, Cal Poly Pomona, Cal State Long Beach, all of those surround our campus. So, you may not be a local area student for us, but you could probably be a local area student for another Cal State. Now, preparing for admissions. What do you need to do when you're preparing for the admissions process? You need to earn grades in all transferable coursework. You need to complete the Golden Four, which we already talked about, but let's review once again. It's your English 100, your speech class, your critical thinking class, which could be a philosophy class, and your math class. Those are very important. If you are missing one of those requirements, you need to have them completed by the time you come in for admissions. If you're missing one of them, it could put a hinder on your application or on your admission process. It could hold it up. So I encourage you to contact the Cal State that you're interested in. If you're interested in Cal State Fullerton, contact our office. You will have that phone number at the end of this presentation so that you can give us a call and we can answer more questions for you. GE certification is strongly recommended. Now, GE certification is a piece where you would need to go through your counselor at your community college so that they can certify that those are general education courses. You need to pay close attention to all of our deadlines. We are a deadline-driven campus. So what that means for you is if you miss a deadline, that may be your admissions, even if you've already been admitted. If you've already been admitted and you didn't accept by the deadline, then there is really not much I can do for you unless you are under extreme extenuating circumstances. And even then, you would have to complete an appeal, which we'll talk about in a minute. You need to check your university portal and your email at least once a week for important notices. Now, let's talk about appeals. This is our appeal. At Cal State Fullerton, our process is deadline driven. If you miss a deadline, you will have to appeal. You will have to let us know why you missed that deadline, because at that point what we will do is we will withdraw your application from the pool, even if you have already been admitted. So this is what the appeal looks like. You need to complete it, you need to fill it out, and then you need to submit it. If you're a veteran and you feel like you have an extreme extenuating circumstance, I highly encourage you to come to my office if you are coming to Cal State Fullerton so that you can go ahead and complete your appeal, your packet, and bring it in to us. And then we can take it directly to the committee. Okay. Now, some of you may have an associate degree for transfers, and you may have heard of it, Assembly Bill 1440. And these are the areas in which we accept those associate degrees. We don't do anything other than these. So we have art, child adolescent studies, communication studies, criminal justice, dance, earth science, economics, English, geology, history, kinesiology, mathematics, physics, political science, psychology, sociology, and theater arts. The reason that I read them off, and I'm sure you can probably read them there, is because it's important that you know that if you have anything other than this, then we're not going to be able to accept that Associate of Arts. Okay? These are the Associate of Arts transfer degrees that we are able to accept in the Associate of Science prior to your enrollment. Anything outside of those areas, we're not able to accept. Alright, now let's talk about cost. How much is it going to cost you to come to Cal State Fullerton? The estimated cost is about $22,844 a year. That's giving you roundabout with additional costs and your total tuition and fees. Now, let's break that down. Some of you may already be living with the, at home, or you may already have a home here that you incur expenses on a daily basis. So then let's just look at what it's going to cost you to come to school in terms of tuition, parking, and books. If you're going to go full-time, for us as a university, full-time is 7 units or more. If you are receiving benefits like GI Bill benefits, full-time is considered 12 units or more each semester, with the exception of the fall and of the summer and the winter. So, correction, full-time is considered 12 units in the spring and in the fall. And in the summer and the winter, it's not considered spring. Now, let me remind you that, at any point in time, you can ask questions. Feel free to type in your question and let us know so that we can stop and we can answer your question, or I will answer the questions towards the end of the presentation. Okay? So, again, it's going to cost you approximately $22,844, but that's including costs. If you do a breakdown by semester and you're only looking at tuition, parking, and books, then it can cost you anywhere from $3,620 a semester to $3,820 a semester. Okay, so that comes up to what, about $6,200 or $6,500 per year just in tuition alone. Now your books, there's nothing really you can do about parking if you're going to park on campus. That's the $229 a term. But if you live close by, or if you want to walk, you want to bike to school, that's great. That saves you $229 a term. Books, I recommend that you do look at like your syllabus before you even begin to purchase books. That you also look at Amazon, that you look at websites that are reliable, so that you can purchase your books for a lower cost, and that might do away a little bit with those $300 to $500. Now, if you decide to go less than part-time, then the cost kind of goes down to about $2,271 to approximately $2,500 a semester. What does that really mean for you? What that means is, yes, you'll be saving yourself some money, but if you are a GI Bill recipient, or you're using your GI Bill benefits, this may affect your pay. So know that the number of units that you're enrolled in is key to your benefits. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Again, this just tells you a little bit about what the student fees are. 7 units or more, $6,182 per year. 6 units or fewer, $3,884 per year. But how can we afford this? What kinds of things can we do? Well, Cal State Fullerton offers over $117.6 million a year in financial aid. That includes grants, it includes work study, it includes loans. The great thing about veterans is that in addition to this financial aid, if you are using your GI Bill benefits, you can take in your GI Bill benefits outside of your financial aid. Many people think, okay, well, I have to report that I'm getting all this. Those are your benefits, and they're a little bit different. So one of the things that you would need to do is you would need to make sure that you've applied online, that you go to fafsa.ed.gov, and that you apply by March 2nd. Now, that's a deadline. That doesn't mean it's a hard deadline. It just means it's a regular deadline you need to meet. If you apply after March 2nd, you can still get financial aid. It may not be all grants. Right, and I think we have one question here. It says, my son took classes online at Gratham University. How would these units transfer? And he was told by Army personnel that these classes would transfer. Would they? Well, it depends on what classes he took. And we would need to, first of all, make sure that he has the golden 4 that we spoke about. So we have the critical thinking, the math, the English, the speech class. Once we have all those in place, then we will go ahead and take a look at the other classes that the student took. If it meets the 60 transferable units and our admissions personnel is able to say yes and look at it and say, okay, this class is comparable to this other class that we're looking at community college, then definitely. I encourage you or your son to call us and maybe email us a copy of his transcript, and we can take a look at it, and then we can correspond back with you so that you can go ahead and get a more accurate reading of where your son is. There are some courses that are offered through the military as well when students are serving that are accounted for, but they're accounted for towards their general electives and not necessarily their 60 transferable units. Some of them will, some of them won't. It just depends on the type of class that it is. I hope I was able to answer that question, but if I wasn't clear, please feel free to retype, and then we will go ahead and continue to answer. Alright, so let's move on to the next slide. Housing. Many of our students are interested in living on campus. So our on-campus housing accommodates approximately 2,000 students. We have 2 different types of apartment living style apartments and dormitory style apartments. What that means is students can either live in an apartment where they don't have a common dining room, or they can live in the actual dormitory, where it's dormitory style. They share bathrooms. They have like their own room, but everything else is kind of shared. Whereas in the apartment style, they share a suite, and then they have a kitchen that they all share. But every student on our campus has access to our gastronome, which is our student dining room area, and they can purchase a package or they can pay as they go. But housing applications are usually due between February and March of the year that the student is applying. So for example, for this year, our housing applications were due February of 2013 through March of 2013 for students who are starting in the fall. Now, here are some very important dates, and these are just general dates for you. I know they say fall 13, but they apply to any filing period with the exception of this one. This one we still have a date to come. But between October 1st and November 30th is the filing period. If your son or you as a veteran have missed that deadline, I encourage you to contact our office so that we can go ahead and work with you to get you an extended deadline for your application. Financial aid is due March 2nd. March 15th is usually around the time that we expect all transcripts to be due. If you are a recipient of an Associate of Arts transfer or an Associate of Science transfer, then we expect your verification to come in around April 1st. And then the last day to accept admissions and pay your enrollment deposit for a transfer student is June 1st. If students are still pending final grade cards, then June 24th, and then July 8th is for the later community colleges. Some community colleges begin their semester later, so they end a little later, so we have two different deadlines. If you miss any of these deadlines, your application could be withdrawn. And then the spring transcripts are actually due July 16th. Okay. We also have a mandatory transfer student orientation, which Heidi spoke about. That is mandatory. You have to do it. And for transfer students, you can do it online or in person. My recommendation is, if you're a veteran, please take advantage of the fact that we may be able to waive your orientation fee. So come to the campus, come take a look at it, come take a tour, come meet your advisor, get that one-on-one experience that is great to have your first year. And then that way you'll be able to register the same day that you come in. Alright, and here's my information. Again, my name is Brenda Estrada. I am the Veteran Certifying Official for the campus. So if you have any questions, feel free to let us know or contact us. Now I'm going to go ahead and take some more questions. If anybody has any further questions. Alright, as a veteran, can I get the $250 fee waived? Well, yes. If you are a veteran and you are receiving benefits, you need to first come into my office, which is LH 540. We are located in the admissions building. And if you have your benefits started already, you bring me all of your paperwork and I will work with you to see if I can get that waived. Another way to get it waived is if you file your financial aid form and you have an expected family contribution of 0. Okay? I hope that answered that question. Can I take all my classes that are on Irvine campus? Yes, we actually have the main campus, which is in Fullerton, and we have an Irvine campus, which is in the city of Irvine. It's very small, very convenient. The students are able to take classes there if they'd like. Do we have any online classes? Of course, we have online classes, but if you're using benefits, we want to caution you that if you take all online classes, it may affect the amount of money that you get for housing per month by a lot. When can I apply? Well, you can apply anytime between October 1st and November 30th for the fall of 14. However, if you miss those deadlines, you can call our office at 657-278-2373 to let us know, and then we will be more than happy to assist you. Can I postpone my acceptance date if I can't attend? If you cannot attend due to a military that they're calling you back to go serve, you need to come and see me in my office, and we will see what we can work out for you. If you cannot attend for other reasons, then you would need to withdraw your application and you would need to reapply. Where and when can I find out if I'm admitted? Within approximately a week of you putting in your application on csumentor.edu, you will be receiving a piece of mail letting you know this is your username, this is your PIN number, this is your password. You need to read that carefully and follow all the instructions. That is going to take you to a student portal, which is where we will be having our main communication with you. And how do I apply for benefits? Well, you apply for benefits with the Department of Veteran Affairs. You fill out your paperwork there. Once you get what's called a certificate of eligibility, then you bring it either to me, or if you're going to another campus, you take it to the certifying official at that campus. What paperwork does our office need in order to start your benefits? Our office requires that you bring in your certificate of eligibility. If you are the veteran, bring in a picture ID, bring in your DD-214. If you're a dependent of a veteran and the benefits are being transferred, then you need to bring in the information pertinent to the person that's transferring your benefits, and you also need to bring in your certificate of eligibility. And in California, we have something called the California Veterans Fee Waiver Program. What that program does is it allows for dependents of deceased or disabled veterans the opportunity to get their tuition waived. So at Cal State Fullerton, for example, our total tuition and fees is $3,089. Our tuition is $2,736. The CalVet Fee Waiver Program will then waive those $2,736, and the student is responsible for paying the $355. Okay, now here's another question. I go to a nationally accredited school. Transferring would be like starting over. Should I take CLEP exams before I get out of the Army? I would recommend that you take some CLEP exams to see where you're at. If you would like, we can take a look at your transcripts, where you're at, and what kind of credits you have, so that we can further assist you in your own personal information. But I would recommend that you do take those CLEP exams before you get out of the Army. Now, do I have to make an appointment to meet with you? No, you don't have to make an appointment. My office is open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I'm usually here unless I'm out at a conference or I'm at a presentation. But if I am not available, my assistants will be able to set you up with an appointment. Do we have any other questions out in the audience? Alright. It doesn't look like we have any more questions, so we will go ahead and close the session out. But again, you have my direct line. It's 657-278-2373, and you can either email me at bestrada@fullerton.edu, or you can email me at veteransservices@fullerton.edu. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you listening in on this conversation, and I hope that the points that I've made here have helped you understand a little bit more about what the CSU system is and how we work, and the information that I provided to you is general to the CSUs. But if you need a specific contact at a CSU other than Cal State Fullerton, I'd be more than happy to work with you on that. Oh, and one last bit before I forget. We do have something in our system called the Troops to College program, which is a program that allows students who are deemed eligible by their base or by their educational advisor on their base as eligible candidates to be admitted to the CSU system. I encourage you to speak to your ESO on your base and ask them more about the Troops to College program. If you want specific information, a specific contact on that, again, you can contact our office and we'll be more than happy to help you. Now, one last thing. I have another question here. Work study. I'm looking for a job. How does that work? If you are a veteran and you're receiving benefits, you may be eligible for a work study. What that means is the VA gives you a certain amount of money to spend in one semester, or to be paid out in one semester, where you can work a maximum of 25 hours a week. And I think with that, we're done. Thank you again for your participation today, and I look forward to hearing from some of you. And for those of you that ask questions, I am more than happy to speak with you over the phone, or to have you come in and meet with me, or fax me, or email me your transcripts, and I'll be able to take a look at them. Have a good day.